Peter Mukerjea, the former television executive, has been arrested by the CBI and is in police custody now for murder, attempt to murder and conspiracy in the Sheena Bora murder case. Sheena Bora was the daughter of Mr. Mukerjea's wife Indrani, a young woman who was murdered by Indrani, her own mother. And now there are indicators that Peter Mukerjea, contrary to what he claimed earlier on, knew exactly what was happening throughout. Also coming up at 1/2 the hour, our newsmaker tonight, Samantha Power, the US envoy to the United Nations, speaks to my colleague Barkhad Datta. But let's quickly move on now to our top story. Peter Mukerjea, the former media executive, has been arrested by the CBI and is in police custody for murder, attempt to murder and conspiracy in the Sheena Bora murder case.
Murder, attempt to murder, conspiracy. Media tycoon Peter Mukerjea booked by the Central Bureau of Investigation in the murky Sheena Bora murder case. The agency claiming Peter played an active role in the crime and hid it from his own son Rahul, whom Sheena was dating.
आज मेरी रिक्वेस्ट इतनी थी, दरखास्त इतनी थी कि कम से कम या तो नहीं दी जाए या फिर कम से कम दी जाए। मंडे को खत्म हो जाएगी, उस दिन पता चलेगा कि वो आगे एक्सटेंड कर रहे हैं या उस दिन एक्चुअल खत्म हो रही है।
Dressed in a light blue striped shirt, his sleeves folded, Peter Mukerjea was constantly grimacing and cracking his knuckles in court, shocked at the dramatic twist in the case in which his wife Indrani, her former husband Sanjeev Khanna and their driver was arrested in August. Also present in court, Peter's son Rahul, from whom the CBI recovered key documents which indicate the motive of the crime could possibly be a financial and property dispute.
The charge sheet says, in 2004, Indrani gifted an apartment in Delhi to Sheena, but when she learnt of a relationship with Rahul, she terminated Sheena's ownership. Sheena then demanded a flat in Mumbai, blackmailing her by saying she had documents to prove that she was Indrani's daughter and not sister, as she had been socially introduced. And Sanjeev Khanna's interest was to get all property rights only for his daughter Vidhi, which otherwise would have been divided with Sheena had she married Rahul.
About Peter Mukerjea, I don't really know what is going on, and CBI is investigating. Let's see what happens. And today they will be produced in the court, so let's see. 100% I'll give my cooperation. There's no worry on that because I am seeking justice for my sister.
For over 10 years as Star India's CEO, Peter Mukerjea was considered one of the most successful executives of Indian television industry. The Doon School graduate then joined INX Media in 2007 before quitting 2 years later.
Peter's lawyers insist he is innocent, as he was in London at the time the crime took place in April 2012, and the calls to his wife then were only incidental. Meanwhile, Indrani for the first time spoke to the media, claiming she had been framed. In Mumbai, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
All right, well, Peter Mukerjea, just earlier on, when all of this had unraveled for the family, had said that he knew nothing. He had absolutely no idea what had happened to Sheena Bora. He accepted the fact that she had moved abroad. He had accepted the fact that what his wife had told him, what Indrani had told him about Sheena actually being the sister and not the daughter. But the truth of the entire matter is now unraveling as police investigations continue. And now Peter Mukerjea has been arrested by the CBI as well for murder, kidnapped, attempt to murder, criminal conspiracy and destruction of evidence. The allegations against him are very, very serious. I should not say allegations, I should say charges against him are very, very serious. And the basic point that the CBI is making in its charge sheet, which we have a copy of, is that he knew all along just what was happening, and therefore he was not truthful in what he had said earlier on. So that's the broad sort of picture. We'll get down to the basics. Joining us, Nalini Singh, the senior editor with us, Shaina NC of the BJP, Nasser Abdullah has also looked at this case very, very closely, the author Anna Vetikad, Vivek Tanka, Supreme Court advocate, and Dr. Kiran Bedi. Thank you all very much for joining us. Mr. Tanka, let me come to you first. Now, if you look at the latest copy of what if you look at what the CBI charge sheet says, what struck me as being a revelation, a huge revelation, is the transcript of an SMS sent by Indrani Mukerjea's youngest daughter, Vidhi, to Rahul, Peter Mukerjea's son. I'm going to read it out. And this says,
sure.
Sheena, this should stay between us two only. You and Rahul should be careful because Mama is getting worried about you two. So I'm just warning you guys, anything might come across. Please don't say anything because I will actually be dead. If not dead, Mama will do something so bad. Trust me, I really need your consent in this. Mama says she does not want to break up the relationship. She wants to get something out of the way, and I've just heard something exotic. Please reply back. Prima facie, does this not clearly indicate that there was always a very real threat to the life of Sheena Bora?
Vishnu, what you're saying to some extent is correct. It indicates that the children were feeling threatened. But today we are debating Peter's complicity in the whole matter.
Yes.
I'm not aware of what the investigation has revealed about Peter. Was he involved in the
Mr.
murder
I know we are discussing Peter, and I will come to Peter. But as a senior advocate, I'm asking you to react to this. It's because it's just in the last about 1.5 hours that I have come across this in reading this large transcript of the charge sheet. And to me, this seems to be prophetic and frightening, really. This confession by a teenager saying, look, there is something terrible which is about to happen, and it does happen.
It indicates that there was something drastically wrong in the family. It indicates that the children were feeling threatened by the mother. It indicates that the mother had a motive to do something which very bad, which the children thought would happen. So all this is fine. As I said, clubbed with other evidences which the CBI must have collected, it would lead to some sort of an accusation or a charge against the mother. But I still don't know what is the charge against the father and what is the kind of evidence that the CBI has collected against the father.
Okay. Kiran Bedi, let me tell you what we know of the charges against Peter Mukerjea. The CBI believes that Peter and Indrani were in constant touch at the time of the crime, even though he was out of the country. Apparently, there were several phone calls, many of them 20-25 minutes in duration, is what we are led to believe. Peter tried to mislead his own son into not letting him pursue Sheena's disappearance. Remember that Rahul Mukerjea had approached the police on a few occasions. Nothing really progressed. He was told by the police that, look, Sheena has gone with her mother and therefore nothing could be done. And Peter had apparently falsely told his son that he had spoken to Sheena and that she was in the United States. So, Dr. Bedi, on the basis of what the CBI is saying now, do you see a direct link involving Peter Mukerjea contrary to what he had said earlier on?
Personally speaking, I still don't see any direct link.
Why do you say so,
It's still very indirect.
Why do you say so, ma'am? Go ahead.
I still see it very, very peripheral and very circumstantial. I think what I heard yesterday was the 164 statement of the driver, who said that Peter knew. I think that is what has been the catalyst for the arrest of Peter Mukerjea, I believe, because so little is getting to be known. But whatever is known, I think that was the catalyst when the driver has said to the CBI what he did not say to the Bombay police. And that has become the basis or a justification for police custody, for their CBI custody, and to explore more. Otherwise, having had conversations while Peter is in London and Indrani here, it's natural that they will have conversations. They would have long conversations. And the son saying he told the father, but the father has always not been taken. He's been believing the wife more than anybody else. So there is a defense to it also. So I still do not see a direct link. I think it's a case made for truth serum. They should try out truth serum also on Peter Mukerjea at some stage.
What the charge sheet also says, Dr. Bedi, and it's interesting you should mention that, is that they refused the lie detector test at an initial stage. Anna Vetikar, would you like to come in over here on the basis of what we know in this charge sheet? And among other things, it establishes a clear link as far as email conversations were concerned, SMS conversations were concerned. Do you believe that what we are seeing now is strong enough to indicate a clear involvement of a family which knew exactly what had happened?
Vishnu, actually what I'd like to say is that I'm not sure that it is okay for us to be commenting on whether or not there is a clear link. I think we should be waiting for evidence to come, and I think we should be waiting for the CBI to make clear announcements, because I think that the media, when the case first broke, had played a very, very bad role in this entire case by speculating endlessly. Now, I want to be very clear about the fact that I know your channel did not do that. I know that NDTV, in fact, removed this this news from the main headlines after the first couple of days. But in general, the media coverage was nauseating. It was speculative. It was sensationalist. And I think we need to be extremely careful, because the new evidence that has come forward shows precisely the dangers of the speculation that was going on initially. On the first day when the news broke, if you recall, Peter Mukerjea was giving interviews left, right and center. Now, the media should have considered the question, why is a person whose wife is in such serious trouble with the law giving interviews to an array of TV channels and trying to distance himself from her? Then I remember a particular TV channel, Vishnu, where the anchor was shouting on TV saying, you know, Peter Mukerjea, you've not spoken to my channel, and I promise you, I assure you, I will chase this case the way we chased the Talwar case. So that again, a very dangerous media behavior, because it's in effect threatening people and telling them that they would do to them, the media can do to them what the media did to the Talwars. And the media in general, again I say, I do not believe NDTV is guilty of this, but the media in general played a terrible role
I take the point that you're talking about media trial. I take that point.
One
but
final point, Vishnu.
As an editor myself, as a journalist myself, my only point is it's a very fine line between knowing whether to discuss this and whether not to discuss this. And I think on the basis of what we have today and the fact that he's been arrested, I think that is the reason why we've decided to but I take your point. Everything that you're saying, I accept.
No, but I completely agree. And may I add, Vishnu? May I add another point, Vishnu? Which is that the questions you are asking, and I saw another one of your rival channels asking a question: did the Mumbai police cover up for Peter Mukerjea?
Yeah.
I think that's a valid question for the media to ask, because the media is a watchdog and needs to be sure that powerful people don't get away. But there was another channel, Vishnu, where they wrote murderer Peter. I mean, murderer,
so, right,
they put
and
in
we've
quotes,
seen,
but
we've seen
so
the judge, jury and executioner all rolled up into one news anchor elsewhere, but let's not go down that road. But let me just go across to Sheena. I know Sheena has to leave us. Sheena, on the basis of what we are seeing now, the linkages, are they somewhat clearer to you?
Well, obviously this is a case which has the making of a C-grade sleaze film, so it's only getting clearer that yes, everyone was involved and there was a money trail, etc. My only appeal to take on Advaita's point is this, that you know, you have had lots and lots of people discussing the role of the police, the role of the media. Sorry, Anna, sorry, I don't know, I can't see who's on, so I presume the voice was Anna. The role of the media, the role of the police, but I think more importantly, we need to not be judgmental. We need to realize that yes, the guilty is going to be brought to task, because there is substantial evidence that was procured by the Mumbai police, handed over to the CBI, the 1000-page charge sheet which was produced yesterday, post which the supplementary charge sheet, which is due to be out tomorrow or day after latest, I think is going to have all the links or the dots joined. But my only appeal to you as in the media is there are so many other worthy cases which need to be highlighted. Look at the time we have given this sleazy story of Indrani and Peter Mukerjea and Sheena Bora. Yes, it's important to highlight, because this is obviously the most gruesome or so-called Kalyug stories of a mother killing a child.
In accepting what you're saying completely, Sheena, my only observation is that
we need to highlight
it is a horrific crime, and it's murky beyond words, and that's why it's being covered. It doesn't, the fact that there are other crimes doesn't lessen the fact that this is one of the most horrific ones that we've heard of.
Yeah.
Vishnu, I just want to make 2 points. You know, there's been a lot of talk about the Mumbai police also. Please let me just say 2-3 points vis-a-vis that. This case was unearthed by the Mumbai police. Yes, there may be some black sheep which need to be brought to task in this entire investigation, where they chose to write it for whatever reasons best known to them as an accident vis-a-vis a murder, or if they actually believe so. What did our Chief Minister do? Our Chief Minister said enough of investigation from Mumbai police. This needs to be given to the CBI, an investigative agency that concludes and comes up with the evidence. The Mumbai police will support it and nobody should be shielded. So in essence, no misuse of power, no misuse of money, and at the same time Peter Mukerjea being arrested is also testimony to the fact that he gave contradictory statements, and there was a huge financial connect which is also due to be out.
Okay, Nalini, let me come to you. I know you have lots of points to make. With one more quote from a text message. This is from Sheena to Indrani. You should have either not given birth to me or not left me with your parents. Why didn't you take me with you? Why? What and where have all of this left me now? All of this has left me really hurt and devastated once again. The context of this is property, right? Property which was disinherited, taken away apparently from Sheena. So this was left in that. But what it establishes is what we have known now for quite some time, that this was not a sister, this was her own daughter.
Well, you know, there is...
this establishes it. That's why I'm reading it out.
Yes, absolutely. This establishes a lot. It also establishes the enormous insecurity that this circumstance of Sheena's birth gave her, because here was a teenage mother who then left them, who got married many times, who disappeared, who reappeared, while they were, by the way, having quite a normal kind of life, a low profile life with their grandparents. Now, you know, what's happened just now is that when you look at Indrani's trajectory through life, you know that the 2 or 3 things that matter to her, and I would say not to her alone, it is what we have become, and we better pause now. Somebody mentioned instant property, instant money, instant power, instant fame. Without that, we cannot live, because today we take spectacle as life, life as a selfie. So this is what's really happening. The giddy lives, if I may say, that Peter Mukerjea and Indrani lived, and I'm sure Peter Mukerjea lived that life much before Indrani came along. This is going from Delhi to Bombay to London, London to somewhere, coming along. I mean, is this what's constituting happiness today? So, and also entitlement, this is my right, is the new instrumentality. So if Sheena said sell the or whatever, Indrani sold the flat in Delhi for 1.5 crores or whatever, 3 crores, just to teach Sheena a lesson. Now Sheena says this money is mine, and so, you know, it goes on. So to lose your life or to lose your daughter for something as inconsequential as property, to me,
it's
you know,
crazy.
This is where we are actually going. And also, if I may just say, that today I notice that if you've got, you've got today, Indrani says, I am being framed, मुझे फंसाया जा रहा है. When the journalist said, और Peter Mukerjea को भी फंसाया जा रहा है, she turned her back, which means there is the Mukerjeas versus the Boras now. Right. That's also coming out. So is blood...
And in a sense, father versus son, because a lot of the revelations in this charge sheet are based on what Rahul has actually told the CBI.
Actually, what I'm saying is, it's going beyond journalism, is going beyond, it's really going into the heart of where society is going today.
And of a family relationship at so many strange levels. Let me come to you next. And I know you were talking outside that you don't believe a lot of what is being reported. You believe there are many more aspects of this case that need to be reported. But on the basis of what you are seeing now, are you less circumspect in how you look at this? Does this not appear to be a straightforward murder case with financial issues in mind?
Well, it seemed to be an open and a shut like a case earlier on, with actually Peter saying he didn't know anything, he heard this, he heard that, he didn't really care, he also relied on his wives, whatever. But I think nobody around would actually be easily able to believe that he did not think twice. She approached him, Sheena approached him to say, I'm actually her daughter. And, you know, he didn't seem to get it, and Indrani happened to tell. So I agree with Ms. Bedi when she says that the driver's, you know, the statement to the magistrate was the catalyst. But I know that the police were not very happy with the statements earlier on. They were not entirely satisfied with Peter's, you know, of whatever he said. So they were waiting, and finally they must have realized that he may not have been involved in the murder, but he knew something strange had happened. And even if you hold back evidence about that, you are really seen as a criminal.
Okay. Can I
so
just add?
We just very short of time.
Very quickly, that, you know, that the police played
games.
Just
half a second.
The police played games is further undermining the confidence of the people. That it played games at the top level, is that true?
The
they
fact
took their
that
time. They were
the
waiting
chief
for the right
investigator
moment.
was removed in this case, it was handed over.
There is no need to rush it.
Anna, you had a point to make. Just very quickly, we are running terribly short on time today. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Vishnu, I just wanted to make it very clear that I do believe that this is a very legitimate news story. There is nothing wrong with the media covering it. All I was referring to was the speculation and sensationalism of a vast majority of the media. Second, we have to be careful, Vishnu, not to be used either by the police, and the media was used by the police because there were just too much information being revealed by the police to the media in the first round of investigations. So we have to be careful now that we are not used by the CBI. Second, we were also used by certain socialites claiming to be close friends of either Sheena or Peter and coming on TV channels and bitching out one or the other. So yes, let us please cover this as a legitimate news story, but we also need to watch ourselves and be very strongly critical of those sections of the media that do not hold themselves back.